Okay,
No,
goats are fine. All
they're
good.
probably eating my neighbour's trees, but it's okay. They're in the gorse. I mean, it is what
it's
it is.
fine.
Goats
Yeah.
are very hard to contain though, right? Like I had this, I don't know what came over me, this moment years ago when I'm like, I think I need a goat. And then one happened to pop up and I was like, brilliant. I can't wait. Can't wait to have this goat. And he was really into me, but he was so into me that he was like, didn't want to be separated. And he started like trying to jump through like windows and stuff at the house, trying to get to me. And I'm like, Gareth, you got to go. That's it. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know what I was thinking. It was just a rush of blood to the head. I had a moment. He's got to go somewhere more appropriate.
I mean, they are useful to eat all the grass, but when they get like I've tried to chain them up, they just constantly get off the chain. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to contain them at the moment.
Yeah. I can't give you any advice. Sorry, Stacey. But yeah, I've got one Jack Russell.
Kia ora, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Untidy. I'm Hannah Davison, mother of 3, podcaster, wrangler of 4 dogs this week and 2 cats. So it's been a real busy house. I'm glad I'm not precious about my furniture. There's been a lot going on.
And I'm Matilda Green. I don't think we can say that we have a lot of animals because I feel like our guest has like almost 15 or something. So when I was writing your intro for this episode, I wasn't actually sure which aspect of achievement to focus on because there are so many. So I'm going to try and just condense them all. So we're joined by the incredible Stacey Waaka, Black Ferns superstar with 2 Rugby World Cup wins, 2 Olympic gold medals. She's also a stepmum to 2 beautiful girls and someone who knows a thing or two about fueling very busy bodies, whether that's at elite sport level or just feeding the whānau. She's also an ambassador for Beef and Lamb New Zealand, which makes her a great person to talk to about powering yourself, fueling active kids, and how to take some of the pressure out of family nutrition when life is super full on and kids sports can actually be like a full-time job. So such a pleasure to have you on Untidy today. Welcome, Stacey.
Thank you, team. It's my pleasure. But yeah, as you said, lots going on, but I love it. Love being busy.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. How many animals do you have?
Well, where to start? I've just been chasing my 2 goats around. They've been off the chain. That's okay. They'll be right. I'm looking at my 4 lambs. They're kind of sheep now. They're a little bit bigger. I had 15 chickens. We're down to 11, unfortunately.
Oh, no. What
we
got
went
them?
missing. One passed away while laying. Not sure what happened. Really sad. And a very funny story, that one was the only one named and it was after one of my teammates, Georgia Miller. So pretty unlucky, really, but pretty funny. And then I've also got 2 dogs, Ola and Willow. They're both, one's English Staffy, one's a Staffy cross, and 5 calves, which look like cows now. So yeah, bit going on, but it's great. And actually, another funny story, I just got home from Hong Kong yesterday and, straight to the goats, they'd got off again. Today, I've found 3 stray cows down my driveway, so put them in my paddock, and until the owner comes, then they're in there free grazing.
Then you've got a few more. Oh, that's so good. Well, first things first, congratulations on Vancouver, because the Black Ferns Sevens just claimed their record 8th win there, beating Australia. Am I right, Stacey?
Yes, that was, Hong Kong was the latest, but Vancouver, New York was a month and a half ago, and it was great.
Okay, and then just remind us how Hong Kong went.
Yeah, Hong Kong. Look, it was the 50th year. Like, obviously, it's been around for many years, much longer than I've been around in this world. But it was an awesome tournament, one, because we had a lot of past players there who kind of paved the way. There was a team in 2000 who went and played in Hong Kong for the first time ever. And then we were there 20 plus years later in 2023 to make our mark back. And we've won every tournament since, every year. So 4th title in a row. Hong Kong is crazy. It's nuts. The atmosphere is out the gate. People are cheering you on, but they're actually probably just highly intoxicated and having a lot of fun with their mates. So we just kind of soak it all in. We enjoy it. And yeah, we love the vibes there. It was a great tournament.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Now, I understand you've also signed with the New Zealand Warriors, which means you're not just juggling elite sport, you're juggling codes. So Can you paint us a picture of what your year ahead looks like? Because from the outside, looks pretty busy.
Yeah. So sevens is nearly finished. We've had 7 tournaments so far, won 6 of them. Very grateful. We've got 2 left in France and Spain next month. We're actually at home for 5 weeks training. So it's actually a good little breakaway from traveling the world, which we love doing. And then as soon as I get back, I pretty much move to Auckland. For only 3 months, I miss a bulk of the preseason, but the season itself is in July, August, September. Hoping, obviously, if all things go well, we make the final. It's on October the 4th, so watch this space. Fingers crossed. We've never actually made it that far, but I'm pretty confident in our team. We've got some good players as long as it all comes together. And then after that, I'm possibly trialling for the League World Cup. So going for my 3rd World Cup, done a sevens, done a 15s, and I would love to go to a League One. Fingers crossed, all goes well. If not, it's all good. Hopefully get back to playing sevens and gun for the next Olympics in 2 years. That's kind of my plan at the moment.
Yeah, there's a
What
wee
a plan.
there's a wee bit going on. I mean, collect the whole set with the World Cups. Why wouldn't you? You know?
Yeah, and the coolest thing is my family have actually never seen me play, besides 15s one here 3 years ago, which was probably a highlight of my career, to be fair. But it's in Australia and New Zealand, the League World Cup, taking turns. So I'd love them to come watch. And League has never really been in my accolades, I should say. I've never really played. Played for the Broncos 2 years ago, and that was fun. Loved it. Didn't even know the rules, but I got there. Still don't know all the rules, but it's okay. I know I'll have much more time. I only played 6 games, so I'm hoping to play a little bit more this season. And with that, get a little bit more experience, I suppose.
Yeah.
God, it's just like an incredible breadth to be able to switch between codes, and you're just like, I'll figure it out and wait for a whistle. I mean, is that the plan?
Much. That's pretty much my mindset. Like I'm pretty optimistic. I love a challenge. I need change in my life, otherwise I'll lose control of my mind space. But I'm just stoked that I can do both, and it's refreshing, I suppose, for my journey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sounds like you need a lot of energy. You're an elite athlete. You're also a stepmum and someone who has got to have a really strong understanding of like performance nutrition. So like on the home front, what does sort of getting everyone fed in your house look like on a sort of week to week basis in amongst everyone's massive schedules? Are you planners, or are you kind of like see what's in the fridge sort of people and fly by the seat of your pants?
Honestly, to give you an insight, I'm really, really grateful and I'm really lucky that my partner is the main cook in the house. So he doesn't actually work at the moment. He does all the farm life, the kids pickups, drop-offs, while I'm trying to be the best athlete I can and traveling the world. And obviously get paid quite well to do that. So roles are reversed a little bit. But he is definitely our main kind of thinker in terms of food. I'm a planner in life, like life in general, love time management, love planning. Like I know, well, as I've explained, what I want for these next few years in life. But it comes down to the day of what are we doing, sports schedules, and obviously food comes into it. I don't personally enjoy cooking, but I love eating.
I hear that.
Interesting, right? Like I should want to and all this stuff. I think I'm too comfortable because we get everything made for us, I guess, on tour, buffets. So we have selections. I've learned over time what is good, what you should eat, what you shouldn't, what my body needs. But my partner, at the end of the day, he's our planner. Thanks to beef and lamb, get good quality meats. And now my girls know the difference between supermarket meat and butcher meat, unfortunately. But fortunately. Fortunate for their health, but unfortunate for, the bank account.
Yeah.
And so he kind of usually plans all the dinners. Breakfasts, I'm a bit of a person who needs change. So I will never, technically, most times, have the same breakfast every morning. It's all dependent on how I feel.
Yeah.
Lunches sometimes is leftover dinner, but I also have to we get lunch twice a week from our job. So depending on what I feel like, I can buy whatever is out there, sushi, wraps, whatever is on the go, or I will take some if we have leftovers from the night before. And the girls, they eat everything mostly. So I'm so grateful.
So good.
The only thing I do have to keep them, because my partner's still on a health journey too, is making sure they get their greens in, because they don't like beans. I don't know why. They hate beans and peas. So I kind of can't really, I'll give them what they actually like with their, they love iceberg lettuce. So I'm like, okay, cool. When we're having a salad, that's the lettuce I'm going to go for. And they love broccoli, which is good.
Yeah.
So we kind of just have to, I don't give them too much choice, but I know that, I remember being a kid and hating everything that my mum gave me. So I just kind of explored different options. But that's pretty much how the food goes and the thing. And we change it up between red meat, white meat. They don't like salmon yet, but hopefully one day, because I love salmon. Yeah. But they love their lamb, steak, chicken. Yeah. So we kind of just change it up every night.
That's so good that they're good eaters. It just, that's the one thing that drives me nuts. Like I'm fresh off the back of the meltdown last night, actually, because I was cooking this meal, and, I've like possibly been a little bit experimentative in the kitchen recently. And then last night, kids are like, what's for dinner? I said, we're having scallop potatoes and roast chicken. And the older two were like, I hate scallop potatoes. And I just said, do you know what? I spend a lot of time making this food, and, I try and make food that you guys are going to like, but you don't like much. Okay, so I like this. It's good for you. I think you'll like it too. I don't want to hear anything else about it. I'm just, oh my God, it kills me. Like when you put so much effort into it and they're like, hate it. And so we've like tried to turn it around, and that you're not allowed to say, ooh, yuck. But you can say, I don't like that once you've tasted it, but you're not allowed to say, ooh, yuck.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of a cool way to put it. Are the girls, it's funny you say scallop potatoes, because our girls love it. That's like one of their favourite go-tos.
So good.
And I haven't mastered it, so I need to master it. It's when their nan is over home, when I'm travelling or something, that they have it. So I kind of get that.
Have you got the machine, Stacey? Like the slicer, the potato slicer? That's the key.
Is that game changer?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I have to invest in one. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so good. Well, everyone hates it in my house, so I mean, I don't know if that's going to help. But anyway, so what about your upbringing, Stacey? Have sports always been a big part of your early life and your upbringing? Like, were you born into a really sporty whānau?
Yes, 100%. I'm the youngest of four, so I got older sister, two older brothers, and they all played. Mum and dad played sport growing up, so I am very fortunate to be brought into a sporting family. And although rugby wasn't my first choice, I didn't actually play till I was 15. I played netball from the get-go when I was 5, when I could kind of play, because my mum played, my sister played, and it was just, the sport young females play growing up in Australia or New Zealand. And I grew up in Australia till I was 8. Played netball. Wasn't until I came to New Zealand started playing touch, and those two were my main sports that I kind of played. I always watched rugby because my dad and my brothers played every weekend. You just get dragged along to the weekend sports, which is cool. I got to hang out at the park, I suppose. Didn't really understand the game, but once I did turn to rugby, I never looked back. But the whole upbringing with sport, I played everything I could at school. Mum and dad couldn't really afford, first of all, to pay for everything. So we did a lot of fundraising, which was really cool. And then they also, because they worked, they didn't really have time to take me to trainings and my siblings to games. So I relied heavily on my community, on my friends, families, parents. And so I'm always grateful for that, because I know without my circle, my village of people and the community, I probably wouldn't be where I was today. I knew I was naturally gifted, and I'm really grateful for that with mum and dad's genes, but I also knew I still had to work hard if I really wanted to make it. It wasn't just going to come. It wasn't just going to happen. So, an interesting one. I think having older siblings definitely toughened me up, in the sense that, I would say I got bullied. We were actually talking about this with my brother here the other day. Like, you used to bash me. No. For now, I'm thankful. At the time, a lot of tears. But I think I've learnt of them. They've all inspired me to obviously pursue this journey. And I thank them for everything that happened when I was younger, even at the time it wasn't the greatest.
They must be so pleased with themselves. They're like, well, you should thank us now because like we actually prepared you for your career. You're welcome.
They do. They definitely remind me of it. And they're my biggest supporters, but they're also my harshest critics. So you could imagine they're watching me and I do one mistake and that's all they remember. That's the first thing they remind me of when they ring me or we talk. So I love it. They keep me grounded. They keep me humble. But I know deep down they talk nice about me to their friends or behind the scenes, just not to my face, but that's okay.
No, they'd never give you that. What were like the whānau dinners like growing up when you were around the table? Was that also a competitive, like quite a competitive sport around the table?
Not gonna lie, I've experienced both sides. So when growing up in Australia, as I said, mum and dad, well, they were probably wealthier. I suppose they had stable jobs. We had great food, always around the dinner table. That was kind of like the norm. And we had great food, like very lucky. Coming to New Zealand after I turned 8, I remember it vividly. I mean, that's a long time ago. Life changed. Mum and dad didn't have stable jobs. They were without work sometimes, so we didn't get the quality of food. And it was like you eat what you're given. So like literally whatever came on the table, we're like scavenging because that was it. You got to eat that, otherwise you lose out.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it, because now I'm a fast eater. And like every time I beat the kids and my partner, and they're like, "Oh, someone's hungry."
Well, I came from a big family, okay?
I did, and I'm like, well, growing up, it's like if you didn't eat, you missed out. So if I ate slow, I'll probably have 2 chips as opposed to 20. Like I remember fish and chips coming home or whatever it was. And so when I go to restaurants and it's the tapas and it comes out every 5 minutes, that's probably better for me. Trying to scoff everything in one go. And I've learned obviously a lot about nutrition over the years and slow down, don't eat too fast. You think you're hungry when you're not. It's just because you've eaten. Like the nutritionist tells us, wait 10 minutes at least to think going for seconds or thirds. You might actually not be hungry, just have a drink of water or whatever.
Does anyone do that? Does anyone do that?
Honestly, I never thought I would, but I've done it a few times and he's so right. I'm like, damn it. Because you just want to eat. And then I've also learned growing up, obviously, to eat the yuck before the nice. And I'm trying to teach the girls, like, I know I've been like you. I used to just eat the meat straight away and then the nice carb. And I didn't want to eat my cabbage or my lettuce. So just try a different way. So, when you get to the last of your meal, you'll actually enjoy it. So little strategies, still trying to figure it out, but it's good fun.
Yeah, that's such an important tip, isn't it? Like, eat the yuck stuff first. Get rid of it, and then you can reward yourself with the scallop potatoes at the end.
Yeah. It's fun times, but it's been a journey. I think about my nutrition journey, all my food, and I'm like, man. And even my mum, like, she loves cooking, and so I wish I enjoyed it with her. She used to try and make me help, and I did in some ways, but I haven't caught the love bug for it yet. So I'm like, maybe when I get older, I might start enjoying cooking. Who knows? We'll just see.
Sometimes it's like if there's not the space for it, though, it's hard to enjoy. Like it's something I enjoy when I've got a bit of time. I've like finished work and finished running around for the evening, and I'm like, I actually have a little window of time that I can kind of do this thing, listen to a podcast, listen to music, and it's sort of like slower time, and I sort of enjoy it more then. Like I feel more creative with it then than if I'm just like, I've got this much time, we're getting late for dinner, need to think about when the kids are going to bed. That's not really that enjoyable anymore.
100%.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioning though about like habits that you've got to undo from learning to eat as a kid, because I remember one of my friends saying to me, we were out having lunch and I went to boarding school, and so it's a little bit survival of the fittest there as well, and also the food's like not often the best, so you just want to get on with it and get back to doing whatever you want to do. And she goes, I've never known anyone to get food to their mouth as fast as you. I'm just like, I've never forgotten.
Funny story about food, actually. We've had to clean our tanks out because we got sick. Me and my partner got sick one time, and we're like, man, what is it? And then it explains it all. There was a dead rat in our water tanks. So
that'll do it.
Potentially Giardia. Yeah, not great.
No.
So he's just the tank people clean it yesterday, and that was our pump guy. He's trying to fix the pump. So hopefully we
Just
have water.
pulling out the rat.
Yeah.
Rank rats, can't stand
Right,
them. They're
I
so
know.
foul.
It's terrible when you learn what the reason was and you're like, how long were we?
That's what the
Consuming
kids
rat.
are saying. So I've started drinking bottled water. Not that I like wasting plastic, but I had to do that because I knew it was potentially the water. I'm not sure, but the girls were immune. They were fine. They've been drinking it and haven't been sick. And as soon as I told them, they're like, "What? I've been drinking dead rats." Sorry, girls.
Yeah. It'll give you it'll be a
Make
resilient
a stronger
gut
immune
thing.
system.
Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah. Are there meals that remind you of growing up at home and like mum cooking and like that real nostalgic stuff? You're like, oh man, if I think about some of the stuff that we ate growing up and like what reminds me of being a kid and reminds me of being with family and stuff.
Definitely. And so I've got mum's meals and then there's dad's meals, and very completely opposite what I know mum could have cooked all the time. So the one, I'll go with the bad first, or the not so nice dad.
Yeah.
So the two memories of Kai or food I have of him one was dry mince. So like he used to cook mince with no sauce, like literally put peas, frozen peas and corn, and he'd just chuck it in, cook our mince, and we'd have mince and mash or something. And at
That's
the time
such
I
a
thought it was
dad
okay.
meal.
Like I thought it was okay. I was like, yeah, food. Now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, okay, no. And then he grew up cooking his steak like well done, over well. There was no ounce of red. And when I think about it now, I'm like, I love medium or like, but a medium rare. I can eat red meat that's actually showing the blood. Back then, I just thought that was normal. So eventually when I moved out of home and I cooked my own steak, well done. And then the restaurants are like, no, not good. I thought, what did I eat growing up that whole time with dad?
You're just chewing and chewing and chewing.
Chewing and chewing. I just thought, yeah, that's normal. So those are experiences of dad, although he fed us. So that was the best thing.
Yeah.
We got Kai from him.
And you always can mix the mince with the mashed potato. Like I remember doing that as a kid, like just turning it into one big thing and then just shoveling,
I loved that. I love mixing my food up. Mum, well, where do I start? She is the most amazing cook, and I'd be so lost without her. And I love going home, and I love when she comes here because she's not only she's practically a chef in my eyes. She doesn't just like cooking, but she likes hearing feedback about it. So she'll wait until we eat it, and she's like, "How was it? What does it need more of?" Or blah blah blah. So if there's nothing wrong, she thinks she's great, and I'm like, "Yeah, that was yum, mum. It was absolutely divine." And a lot of the time, I've never corrected her because it's always been amazing. Yeah.
But what a moment though, like when everyone is just like, this is so good. And you're
Makes
like,
mum feel
just the best.
And so that's the best. The only thing I hated about it's a big word. I disliked about mum's cooking is she used a lot of dishes, and she wouldn't wash the dishes during cooking. She'd just leave it there for us. And because there was 4 of us to clean up, she didn't care. So work it out, have your chore list, whatever. But her favourite that I loved, that I kind of take away, was definitely her roast. And she could do any roast, lamb, beef, chicken, whatever. Like, standard roast veg. She made them so nice. And the one thing I usually cook at the moment that she loved was an easy chicken fettuccine with like the tricolour pastas from the store.
Yes.
And she made her sauce from scratch. I haven't quite cracked it, so I still get the store sauce. And then add cream and all the other stuff that she adds.
Then you feel like you've kind of made put your own stamp on it. No, I added something.
But yeah, those are probably her 2 go-tos. And then since moving to New Zealand, they love making a good boil up. So bit of a cheat meal when I go home, and I ask for it straight on the table for my, Kiwi fave, bit of a boil up. Because, you get the veg, the meat, the carb, it's great.
Yeah, everything you need.
God, I'm getting hungry. I think
I know, me too.
I agree with you about the roast though, like mum's roasts.
Just can't beat it.
You can't beat it.
No.
And like the crispy roast potatoes, or like mum would make Yorkshire puddings to go with the beef.
Oh yeah.
And then I'd
so
pour
good,
the gravy into the Yorkshire pudding, so it was like this cup of so good.
Yeah.
I remember like planning my I was away on like OE at some stage, and like planning my flight home to land on a Sunday, so I knew I'd be in time for like Sunday roast.
That's a great idea.
Just walked in and I'm like, I can smell it cooking.
Yeah, I love it when because we all live apart. So me and my older brother live here in Tauranga. My sister lives in Melbourne again. She's moved back to Australia. And my older brother is between Japan, New Zealand, America. He just plays rugby all over the world. So as soon as we're all together, I'm like, yes, Mum's going to put on a feast. So
she's going to go all in.
yeah, she just all in, goes all
Yeah.
out. And I'm like, man, we need to do this more often because it doesn't happen often. But when it does, honestly, she doesn't even care what the bill is. She just goes for it. And I love it. Good,
I feel like that must be her like love language.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Love language, definitely.
It's the best kind of love, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so as a like rugby and league player, like you've obviously got to eat for fuel and performance.
Yeah.
So like how much strategy and guidance and planning is there in your nutrition day to day?
There's a lot for me personally because I struggled when I first came into the team. I was a bit bigger and I could put weight on quite easily. Then obviously it could be genetics, whatever, but I didn't really have the best relationship with food because I just struggled. And like you get skin folds done, you talk to your nutritionist about things, and I was always quite high. And I was like, man, this sucks. Like I see my friends eating lollies, chocolate takeaways, and they're like so super fit and skinny. And I just thought, this is so not fair. So at the start of my career, I didn't really have a good relationship with strategy and all that sort of stuff. But once I'm year 12 in professionally, I've actually learned that, the importance of everyone is different. You fuel differently for different things. And now understanding the difference between undereating, overeating, actually recovery snacks straight away post the training, what you need 2 hours before. Like some girls can have a massive meal an hour before we train. I'm more of a 2.5 hours before it digests through my body. So it's taken some time, but the strategy now, we have so much resources. There's so many options we can take. It's all about us planning exactly the time frame of when we eat, because we train in the morning, we train in the afternoon. Usually get hungry. There's this hungry spot around 4 o'clock during the day, and then it's that awkward time where I've just finished gym or something, and dinner's not till 6:30. So having like the breakfast, the mid-training snack, the lunch, the after-training snack, and then trying to figure out what is actually best in that area of time before having dinner, because I don't want to be full for dinner, but also I'm really hungry now, so what can I have?
What do you do? Because like it's real, like the cheese and cracker danger is real at that time.
Yeah, because it really hits when you're hungry at 4 o'clock and you go hungry on the cheese and crackers.
I usually, my go-to now is like a smoothie, because you're getting the vet, you can put some greens in, you can put your fruits in, get the milk, honey yogurt, whatever. So it's still kind of a nice meal, even though it's not too filling. And if I'm really hungry, then I'll start to get into the crackers, because I'm like, okay, I need a little bit more, or a bar or something. And I've realized that I get more full on veggies over salad. So if I'm like really hungry, I'm like, I need a veg. I can't just have a salad because I'm going to be hungry in an hour.
Yeah.
And that's just the way my body works, that I've learnt. But yeah, strategy is definitely key. And I wouldn't say I'm perfect, and I don't get it right. Like some days I'm not hungry when I should be hungry. So it's almost force feeding. And then even game day for me, our games are like only 3 hours between each other. So you can't have a massive meal. But my go-to, obviously athlete, mid-tournament, not recommended for the everyday person, but I actually have Pringles and bread. So it's like a chip sandwich.
Oh, chippy sandwich. Oh, God,
so
it's been a while
good.
between.
Well, we need fast carbs.
Chippy sandwiches.
Yeah.
So it's my absolute go-to. I have my protein shake straight after, and a banana maybe. And then when I'm like, I'm starving or I'm hungry enough, but not hungry to eat chicken and rice or whatever it is. So chip sandwich. The only key is I have to have lots of butter. I love butter on my bread. I can't have it without.
Otherwise
it's too dry.
Yeah. So
well,
especially if there's a Pringle on the inside.
So that's what you've got to do to have a chippy sandwich. You've got to be an elite athlete, and then it's like no legit snack, chippy sandwich.
Yeah. You have to definitely, use all that energy to want to get it back in. But then it's bad because then you get during the week and you're like, okay, can't really have that now because it's not the intensity of game day or tournament day. It's just a normal training day. So get back to eating your tuna and crackers or whatever. The healthy version.
Totally. And then what about for your average person, like not necessarily a pro athlete? Like in your opinion, what does good fueling actually mean? Because I feel like a lot of us, especially women, we're underfed, we're underfueled. you know,
Yeah.
because everyone's always trying to eat
Like
well or
social media,
yeah,
influence.
exactly. And there's all the what I eat in a day, like influencer videos that are just like, how are you standing up? Like this is crazy. That's not enough food.
Yeah.
So yeah, like what's your opinion on how the everyday person should be fueling themselves?
Yeah, I personally think it comes down to their lifestyle, their, I suppose, job, their physical activity during the week, their commitments with how you can get quite busy, and sometimes heating up a frozen meal or heating up an already made meal is much easier than preparing it at home because of time issue. I also think it comes down to you have to enjoy your food. So it's like I need to, otherwise I'm not eating. So the planning obviously is quite critical. But if the busy person is quite fussy or they have their veg, they're vegetarians, or I know there's a lot more people now who don't eat dairy or gluten and all that. So I could understand how it gets really hard because I've done it. I eat everything practically, except for tomatoes. I just don't like tomatoes. That's another story. But yeah, for me, the everyday person, like we get told to eat 6 meals a day because we're constantly training, right? You have your breakfast, lunch, dinner, but then we've got a snack in between both of our trainings, potentially something at supper time. Obviously not recommended for everyone else, but for me it's planning, it's portion sizes. So I've learned the difference of portion sizes on heavy training days versus light training days versus the weekends. You know, the weekends can always get quite tough because it's the weekend, you're not working and you want a treat, and then it becomes Friday night, then Saturday night, Sunday. It can kind of, you're like, oh, okay, too many treats now.
Well,
One.
time to rein that in. Yeah.
So yeah, I always find what you actually love, enjoy, like obviously put those, and then if there's things that you need but don't love, just kind of sprinkle that in every now and then just to make sure you're getting it. Finding it in smoothies, finding it good green stuff that you can get in powder stuff. If you need certain things, there are supplements or other ways to get around it. Obviously, as spoken by the professionals, because everyone knows everyone's different with their bodies. But yeah, I think that's all it is. I feel like when people don't eat properly, it's because they're not thinking about it. They're being lazy. They just think, oh, I'm just going to go to the shop and eat this. And I think it might have enough of what I need, blah, blah. That's from my experience and what I have. Like my partner, for example, he wasn't a heavy veg eater before he came into my life. He worked shift work, so he was not organised, not planned. And since being with me and seeing how I feel, how I eat, it's almost like who you are around. You know that
Totally.
saying of you are the definition of the 5 people you hang around kind of thing. It's like if you see people doing that, then you kind of pick up on their habits. And me being an athlete, I'm constantly around athletes, so it's just second nature. So I feel like if you get a team on board that you're working with or your family and you kind of make it fun and exciting and a challenge. I'm not sure about diets. I'm not a big fan on certain diets for certain time frames, especially like I know everyone does the 75 hard and all these things for mental toughness, but I'm also like, what happens when you go back to normal? Is this you've just undone all your work? So for me, it's about lifestyle and making it a choice with good habits. I love cheat days. I love having an ice cream or chocolate here and there because, like I said, you have to enjoy it. But it's probably not realistic if you go on this diet for 3 months and then you go and eat shit for 1 month and then you're like, oh, well, that's 3 months gone.
Yeah.
Instead of, treat yourself weekly, twice a week, maybe. Achievable goals. That's what I would say. You can't just cut everything straight away. You got to make it.
Yeah, well, then I feel like you get a bit bingy as well. Like if you cut yourself off from all of these foods, then as soon as you get access to them, your body's like, oh my God, we might be cut off again. Let's just eat as much as we possibly can. And then it gets a little bit toxic. Yeah, you're so right. It's got to be sustainable for you.
Sustainable, yeah. That's kind of my take on it, I suppose, or what I've seen, what I've learned. And I always wonder, like when I choose to retire, not anytime soon, like how I'm going to adapt to it because I've learned everything. But I also know I probably won't be as physically active, and how my eating will probably change again. But I'm pretty comfortable with what I eat at the moment. We'll see how it goes.
I guess it depends on like how good your goats are at getting out and like running to the neighbours. I reckon you'll probably still be really quite active. You're like, at least you must be quick, like you must be pretty quick to get after them.
Yeah, try to be when they listen. They're not listening today, so I'll wait for the girls to get home from school and they can help me.
Yeah. how do you battle the treat temptation? Because like in our house, we've got into a pretty bad habit of like after dinner, oh, little treat,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm like, we can't do this every day. We've got to be like, no, let's have a good clean week and then like a little treat here, a little treat there. But like after dinner, like you've just had a full dinner and then your body's like, oh, I wouldn't mind something sweet, you know?
I agree. For me, I've tried to get sweet options off the nutritionist that are sweet but healthy. So like I know it sounds really weird, like frozen fruit and yogurt. Like it's healthy, but it's still kind of that sweet tooth that you can kind of get. I actually like sometimes wheat for like a little treat with no sugar, but I'll get a dollop of yogurt that can be the sugar for the time. And then when I think mentally, because I know how much food and fuel affects the mind, the body. I just know, like, when I'm tempted, I'm like, no, it's not worth it, Stacey. Do you want to be unfit tomorrow? Or like, I make up a story in my head, so all placebo potentially, and it's all the battle of the mind. And it's real hard when I can see the girls because they obviously have a bit more treats than me, and I'm not going to make them eat completely healthy. Some nights, I'm not going to lie, they have eggs on toast or they have noodles for dinner because that's what they feel like. But obviously I can't do that as much as they do. So I'm strict when I need to be for them, but then I'm like, oh yeah, have an ice cream or whatever it is. I don't want them to hate food or think, oh, I was so strict growing up, blah, blah, blah. Because I didn't have that. I know I didn't have that. And so I just want them to enjoy it too.
Yeah. Yeah. And how important is like protein and red meat for like recovery and growth and energy and your overall performance?
Yeah, I think it's massive, and I probably didn't learn the importance of red meat and protein until becoming a professional athlete and thinking, but how? What does it do? And there was a time where I tried to like go only on white meat. I don't know why. I've tried many different things, and I could just feel like how low in energy I actually was. Obviously talk to the specialist about it and they're like, well, that was the dumbest decision. You like meat, you love red meat. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I was just trying to lose, I thought I was just trying to lose weight, you know? And I know there's very times where it's better to eat red meat versus white meat, blah, blah, blah. But I just didn't have the knowledge and awareness of how to do it properly. So once I did find my way and then knowing how much oxygen was actually flowing through the body and I was eating the right foods, and I'm so grateful. I love red meat because I know there's so many people out there who don't, who should. I suppose they find it in other ways. But yeah, I don't know. It's not only mentally for me to understand the importance of it physically, but mentally it's just I love it and I love the taste. So getting through that.
Did you find that made a big difference to your energy by having like the higher iron meats as well?
100%. And like I'm pretty energetic and I'm a happy out there go lucky girl, but I could definitely tell the difference within my body and my system. And I suppose a little insight into the journey I've been through too is I've suffered from endometriosis, and I know it's not talked about a lot, but I had a lot going on down there physically in my body, had to have a surgery, got through all of that. And then I was trying all these different diets and foods. I thought I couldn't eat gluten or I couldn't eat dairy. Then I was on and off contraception. So my body was just like out of whack. I didn't know what was going on. And I'd been on contraception for 10 years. And then I decided I'm just going to give my body a break. And it didn't adapt. So going through all these different trials and errors, I'm back on it. My endo's pretty clear. My food is good. So I'm just in a really good space at the moment. So really grateful that I've kind of found my way out of it, I guess.
Awesome. Awesome. And I guess having a family like yours and being a pro athlete, like how do you avoid the pressure of trying to be the perfectly healthy family? Do you buy into any of that pressure, or are you just like, no, we're just going to do thing?
Yeah, I've probably never been a bit of a follower. I hate being told what to do. It's my mum's trait. I'm really stubborn. And I'm quite staunch on, if I want something, I'll go get it. And if people tell me what to do, I'm almost trying to do the opposite, which is not the greatest trait, but also it is because that means I've never been peer pressured into doing things. If I don't want to do it, I won't do it. If people tell me, then I'm like, no, actually, I don't think that's right. which I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my mum because that's exactly who she is. I've got her trait. Dad, on the other hand, more of a follower. He'll do what he's told. He'll just follow everyone else, whereas mum's more the leader type person, and I've got more of her genes. So yeah, definitely not. I've never really been highly influenced in that way, and I'm real grateful for that. But in terms of trying to get that balance, like I said, I've just learned over time what is good, what is not. And I know that if I do make a wrong decision, or I think is a wrong decision in terms of fueling, I just try and do an extra session or something to get through it mentally and physically. And I'm like, well, I put myself in that hole, so you got to get yourself out of it. No one else can do it for you. You made that choice. It doesn't happen often, but there are some days where I'm feeling sorry for myself and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to eat this cake today or whatever it is. But I also know there's a consequence to it. So it's not like I'll just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. Because at the end of the day, I want to be the best athlete and person that I can be. Not just for my team, for my family too, right? Food, emotions go well together. And we want to try and be positive role models for the girls. So yeah, trying to make good choices, not just for ourselves, but for our family too.
I love that so much. I mean, growing up, I was a super picky eater. I honestly, I just lived on fish fingers and spag bowl till I was like 20. But I remember mum, her whole thing was like, she never wanted to fight over food because she'd say food is meant to be enjoyed. Like we're supposed to be sitting around the dinner table, enjoying our food and having a lovely time. So she's like, I don't want to sit there with everyone crying, someone wanting, they have to eat their broccoli and they can't get up until it's gone. Well, we did actually have a bit of that, but she,
yes,
that was, but that was her whole ethos was like, I want everyone to enjoy food, because it's about so much more than just nutrition or just this. It's like, it's everything. It's also social. It's how people connect. There's so much to it. So, Stacey, we're going to finish with just a couple of little quick fire cues.
Yeah, cool.
real crazy ones. Okay, what's one nutrition myth that you would love to quash?
Oh, pretty much what I've said, that a diet, I don't know how to say it in words, but I would love to take away diets because I just think they're a waste of time.
Let's get rid of dieting.
Get rid of dieting. Don't like it.
Good. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that's off the table. Yeah. What about do you have any guilty pleasures or food obsessions or things that if you're you're gonna have a splurge that you're like, oh, that's the one?
Because I have a lot of change, it depends on how I'm feeling, but I do love ice cream and I do love the McDonald's McFlurry Oreo. That's probably one of my go-to.
It's a classic. It's a classic for a reason. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, Stacey, thank you so much for chatting with us today. I know you've got goats to wrangle. You've got training to do. You've got a lot to fit in for the rest of your afternoon. But we've really appreciated talking to you today and hearing a bit more about how you and your whānau fuel yourselves and keep your energy levels up for all the stuff you've got going on. So you're an inspiration. You really are. So thank you for taking the time.
Yeah. And massive amount of good luck and best wishes for the year ahead and the season ahead and everything that you want to achieve. I mean, after seeing how much energy you have got just even bring to a podcast interview, I'm like, yeah, no, she's got this in the bag. She's absolutely fine.
Yeah, love being a busy woman, but thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. It's always nice talking about food, but now you've made me hungry.
Yeah,
so I'm
gonna go and have some lunch.
Yeah, I'm having steak for dinner.
Yeah,
amazing. All right, thanks so much, and take care out there, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Untidy, and we'll be back in your ears soon.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Untidy. If you enjoyed it, we'd love your support to keep making the show. The best thing you can do to help is subscribe by hitting follow in your podcast app and leaving us a little 5-star review. You can also now watch and subscribe on YouTube and check out how these millennials are keeping up with the cool kids on TikTok and the gram. Lastly, please share this podcast with your mates. It means that we can keep building this supportive community, keep giving you untidy episodes, and just keep doing what we love to do.
Don't forget to check out mybigmoments.com for kids' books that make your tricky job of parenting a whole lot easier. Untidy listeners get a discount at checkout, so just pop in Untidy for 10% off your order. Lastly, we would like to thank all of the good people who make this podcast possible. Flicker Williams and Joe Rocker at My Big Moments for the beautiful artwork and design, Maxine London Creative for editing this episode, and Lana Byrne for creating our social content. And to you, our listeners, Aroha nui, take care. We'll see you soon.